President Donald Trump says a new era of competition is underway and that the U.S. will follow his 2016 campaign doctrine of America First. December 18, AP President Trump returns to the White House in Washington, D.C., December 17, 2017, after an overnight stay at Camp David. Photo, Chris Kleponiis/pool, EPAEFE. Washington French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian issued a blunt critique of President Trump's foreign policy Monday, saying it smacks of isolationism and retreat. In an interview with a small group of reporters, Le Drian referred to Trump's repudiation of the Paris Climate Agreement, UNESCO, trade deals, the Iran nuclear deal and the broad international consensus that Jerusalem should not be recognized as Israel's capital until its status is resolved by Israelis and Palestinians. This forces President Trump to have a position of retreat on most topics rather than making proposals, Le Drian said during his first time in Washington as France's top diplomat. Trump's December 7 announcement to recognize Jerusalem as the Israeli capital came after months of anticipation of a new proposal on forging peace in the Middle East, but we see nothing, Le Drian said. Later Monday, the United States vetoed a UN Security Council resolution intended to invalidate Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as the Israeli capital. While the vote was certain to fail because Washington has a permanent veto on the 15-member council, it further isolates Trump on the world stage on the issue. Trump's order to move the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem undermines U.S. allies who've backed the notion that Jerusalem's status should be decided in negotiations, and plays into the hands of adversaries, such as Iran, Le Drian said. With this decision, President Trump gives Iran the opportunity to control all Palestinian issues, he said. Iran was the only country in the region that called for the annihilation of Israel in response to Trump's announcement. The State Department has designated Iran a state sponsor of terrorism because of its support for Hamas, which has governed the Gaza Strip, Islamic Jihad, another Palestinian group, and the Lebanese Shiite group Hezbollah, all of which have fought several wars with Israel. Le Drian, previously France's defense minister, was in Washington for meetings with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, and Sens. Bob Corker, R10, and Ben Cardin, DMD, the top Republican and Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Another area where Trump has pulled back from leading multilateral efforts is in the Sahel region of Africa. France is seeking to coordinate international funding for a joint strike force of African Union troops to counter Islamic State-linked terrorists. The strike force would help African countries feel committed to take action on their own, Le Drian said. France, Germany, and Saudi Arabia are all participating, but the U.S. is participating with each African nation. France agrees with Trump's desire to eliminate the North Korean nuclear threat because it is a danger to the entire world, Le Drian said. But there is still room for a multilateral approach that results in more and stronger sanctions on the North because existing sanctions are still not fully implemented, he said.